My father's 3 jokes. Number 3, gotcha. Gotcha, Dad's third off-toe joke, was the most ribald of the 3, and like tremendous, revolves around the theme of poking fun at a self-important expert. Greg could easily have found himself in a predicament, but thanks to his friend Terry's heads up, he'd arrived prepared. On Friday, Greg's friend Terry mentioned that their mutual friend Chris had needed hernia surgery and wouldn't be able to join him for his usual golf outing. I'm really bummed about it too, Terry said. I mean, I'm bummed out for Chris, but he's a regular for our weekly golf game, and it looks like he's going to miss like a month's worth of golfing. Leaves us in a bad spot, you know? Yeah, I can see that, Greg said. I just started golf lessons. If you need a 4th, I'd be happy to join you. Huh, I didn't know you played. How long have you been taking lessons? Terry asked. Just 2 weeks, but if you're desperate, let me know. Well, I think it would be great, but I gotta warn you, this guy Randolph, who's in our foursome, is a real know-it-all. He's certain to critique your game. You okay with that? I don't mind some friendly advice, Greg replied. Yeah, it's that friendly part that might not apply. I swear he's the tallest guy I've ever met with short man's disease, if you know what I mean. I get it, I'll be fine. This weekend? Sunday, Terry said. I'll tell the guys where to go. Great, Greg said. See you Sunday. Turns out Terry's warning hadn't been an exaggeration. Mark was the 4th member of the party, and he was affable and welcoming, but from the moment Randolph had greeted Greg with a bone-crushing handshake, he'd started with useful and friendly advice, and by the time they were headed to the green, he'd asked Greg what his handicap was. Usually I go with a 3 gotcha. How about you? Randolph smiled at Greg's response. 3 gotcha, huh? You really are a noob, ain't you? Well, we all have to start somewhere, right? I guess if you're still in gotcha handicaps, that's how you'll have to play. Heading to the first tee, Terry whispered, What's a gotcha? Into Greg's ear. I've never heard of it before. You don't know? Greg whispered back. I'll show you when the time is right. The foursome played through the 3rd hole, where Greg said, You're really good at this, aren't you, Randy? You're like 6 swings ahead of me already. A polite observation that struck sideways in Randolph's craw. It's Randolph, he said icily, and yes, I am, before addressing the ball in preparation of teeing off. Greg nodded and smiled at Randolph, smiled and winked at Terry and Mark, then stood behind Randolph and waited for his backswing. It was just as Randy prepared to unleash his club and again send the golf ball streaking through the air and down the green that Greg, with lightning speed, reached his gloved hand to Randolph's private parts and, simultaneous to squeezing, shouted, One gotcha! A first of 3 agreed to handicapping strikes that would go quite a distance in equalizing the field.